Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It's Thursday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It's time for the Manufacturer Showcase. This is a show where we bring manufacturers that work with DX Engineering on and let them show you their stuff. And today we have Gary, W9XT. And Gary, I know you've been in business for a lot of years, and we have a tremendous working relationship with you here at DX, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tim.
So, Gary, let's start off with you showing the audience what you've got.
Well, our flagship product is called the BEV Flex 4X. This is an antenna system that was designed by Jeff Mendenhall, W8G&M. And it's a very versatile low band, low noise receive antenna system. You can make it into beverage on ground, flags, EWE or U, sometimes pronounced as a V3DO type loop antenna. So if you're having trouble hearing on the low bands because of noise, a receive antenna is usually a good way to get around that. And we have this thing can be configured in a lot of different versions. The beverage or the BOG, beverage on ground, are probably the most common. Now, a beverage antenna is a long wire, several hundred feet long, maybe 1,000 feet long, about 8 feet high. And at one end, you have a terminating transformer that changes the impedance to the coax back to the radio. On the other end, you have a terminating resistor to ground. And if you stand at the end where the coax connects and look to the other end, that's the direction you're going to hear from. Well, this system is a little bit different. Instead of using a wire for the antenna, we use RG6 coax. That's the kind of coax used for wiring up cable TV. And the outer conductor of the coax is actually the antenna. And at the end of each end of the coax, we call our little terminators. And this plugs into the end of the coax and to a ground rod. And there's one of these on each end. So what happens is, as the signal transfers along to the terminator, it gets to the terminator and it changes the impedance and injects that into the coax. So the coax on the outside is an antenna, and on the inside it's acting like a normal transmission line. So you have these two signals coming in together from the different directions because it's symmetrical, and then we have what's called the feed box. And I apologize, this is backwards, something about my camera. I've never been able to get this turned around. But it splits those two signals off, the two directions, and sends them from to the shack through two coaxes where we have a switch. And the switch here basically connects those two up at your radio, and you can switch forward or back direction. There's special terminations and transformers in here to make the whole thing work. Now, the boxes that we have, anything I do outside, I just really want to make it solid and weatherproof. These are all NEMA rated cases. They have a gasketed cover on here. All the circuit boards inside are conformal coated, so if you have any moisture gets in, it'll, even though they're sealed, something gets in there, it's not likely to cause corrosion. On these boxes, like the terminators, a lot of the boxes will have a gas discharge tube, so if you have a nearby lightning strike, it's not going to take a direct hit, obviously, but it'll help protect the transformers or some of the other products. If you don't have room for a beverage, you can make a flag or an EWE or a V3DO, and those are usually a lot shorter. They're maybe 24 or 30, 40 foot loops, maybe 10 or 15 feet high. So they'll fit into any of the a lot of smaller yards. We had a lot of people getting two of these. They have two directions, so let's buy two systems, gets four directions. So that's what we could do about this. So we came out a new version called the BEV Flex 4XQ late last year. To do that, we designed a new switch, and this is a 4-to-1 switch, and it's got the termination resistors and the switching here. It's again a NEMA case, and that's all controlled. And so you can just put the two antenna systems together, and they don't have to both be beverage. They don't have to be flags. You can have one as a beverage or a bog, another one as a flag or whatever you want. And one thing is it uses a 4-conductor cable plus 12 volts to select the antennas, 3 plus 12 plus ground. It has a cable gland here, so you put the cable in and screw it down, and it closes a little rubber grommet, so it keeps the spiders and everything out of here. And you can mount it to the flanges. You normally want to mount this upside down so water drips out, and of course you want to waterproof all of your connections and everything, or else it's at a bracket you can mount on a pole. So that's our main product there. Tim, do you have any questions about that?
Yeah. So Gary, I think if I can show my screen here, I'm going to share my screen. I want to show everybody a little bit about some of the documentation that you have. Really first class.
Thank you.
And so let's see here. Hopefully you let me know, Gary, when you see that.
I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the documentation for the BEV Flex, and this is really detailed. You went through a lot of work to explain what the EWE is, what a flag is, and then how to install these. And I just want to congratulate you on that. Here's the inside of the boxes with the coating that is over the printed circuit boards. A lot of detailed wiring in here, Gary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really really top-notch stuff. So when you're thinking about now, explain this photo here, Gary.
Well, this was just kind of a photo, just kind of showing some installation, like you want to put drip loops around the cables and things like that. This isn't a real installation, but just kind of showing how you want to mount it, because you don't want water, going, running down the wires or the coax into the connectors. Right.
So again, just explaining what all the terminations are, and so this is just the quick start guide. Now you have also the main instruction guide.
Right. That's a lot more detailed.
Yeah, which is 31 pages, Gary. Wow.
Well, there's a lot of flexibility, and we have to explain how to set it up. It's not super complex, but you got to know which jumpers to put in and which connectors to attach the wires to and that sort of thing.
Right. You even have some polar plots here of different lengths of beverage antennas. And again, the detail is just tremendous. Here installing the F connector, just showing all the aspects of the installation of your product. And this is a really, I mean, the quality of your boxes and so forth, very heavy duty, Gary.
I've always wanted to be really reliable. I know at K3LR, you don't want something failing in the middle of a contest. So I've been just, in all my career as an engineer, I've had a lot of experience with designing and manufacturing equipment in some hostile environments. And so I just really, actually, when Jeff came to me and to take over this product, I liked the concept a whole lot, but I redesigned it to make it a lot more, rugged. And that was some of the things. Like, I don't know if anybody else that makes, like, conformally coats their circuit boards and electronics on their boxes that go externally.
Yeah, it's just really top notch. So this is the Unified Microsystems BEV Flex 4X and BEV Flex 4X/Q, the reversible receive antenna system. And again, congratulations on a really super product, and it's in stock, and we can ship it today if you get your order in. So there you go with that. And so let's go back to your next product, Gary.
Okay. I should mention that the switch is also available as a standalone product. So if you've got multiple, receive antennas that you want to be switching externally, this is available as a separate product. Historically, I've been into keyers. I used to have a lot of voice keyers and things, but those are kind of went obsolete. But I still have a little CW keyer. It's a little battery operated for memory, runs off a 9-volt battery. It's real simple to program. You just press the record button, press the message button that you want to record, start sending, hit record, and stops. and then just press the button. You can replay your message back, and if you turn the power off, the message is saved. And it runs forever on a 9-volt battery, so it's great for things like field day, or if your parks on the air, or their portable operations, VH rovers. If you want a CW keyer that is it's portable and lightweight. Kind of a spin-off of that is the XT4 beacon. This is actually an older version. The new one looks a little bit different. But if you're putting up a VHF beacon, you want to do a CW ID, you can program in your message, maybe your call sign and your grid square or whatever it is you're sending. And you just program it in by sending it. And then there's a little jumper here, and you can move the jumpers around. So if you want to just send the CW message, it'll just repeat it over and over again. The speed is variable, a little pot here. Just move to another one, it'll do a 5-second key down and then the message, and then the third one is 20 seconds key down and the message. There's a lot of like the microwave ones, they want to have a signal that they can use for tuning equipment and that sort of thing. So it's flexible, and this just comes to the board, and you put it into your own little beacon. Some other products we have in the antenna switching. This is the BCD 14. Some of the radios like the Yaesu and the K3, I believe some of the Flex, have band data that comes out on what they call a binary coded decimal. There's 4 5-volt lines plus ground, and the band is encoded in those lines, either 5 volts or 0 volts. Well, this decodes those signals, and then you can use this to drive a remote switch. And so if you're on 40 meters, it'll select the 40 meter antenna. If you're on 15, it'll select, and so on. One of the things is it's got optical isolation here, so it isolates the radio and the switching system. It's another one of my things. I really like to provide a lot of isolation between the equipment. It cuts down on RFI problems, it cuts down on hum and audio and that sort of thing. If you have something like a tri-band where you have 10, 15, and 20, you can put jumpers here to 10, 15, and 20. So now whenever you are on one of those bands, it'll automatically switch your tri-bander, and you can jumper, if you have a trap dipole, say for 40 and 80, you can put those together. Now this has got a low side switch, which basically means that there's 12 volts on the relays on coils on your switch, and you ground the one you want to select. Some of the commercial ones use high side switching where the relays are all grounded, and then you put 12 volts on the relay for the one that you want to select. So we have a level shifter here, the HSD 9, and then that converts it from low side to high side switching. So if you're building your own custom antenna switching system, you got a lot of these components ready to go and save you a lot of time. They're not real complex, but they take a long time if you wanted to wire one up by scratch. And a lot of people have unique antenna systems. There's probably no 2 stations are on, and so you might want to customize your own antenna system for switching.
So Gary, I have my screen. Let me know when you see it.
Yeah,
I've got that's the board itself, right?
That's correct.
And Gary, what the great thing about this is, it's a kit, but it's only $24.
Well, it's actually assembled and tested, so it's not really a kit.
Oh,
but
okay.
But it's already wired. It's like I said, it's not super complex, but there's just an awful lot of wires. You could spend hours and hours wiring one of these things up from the ICs and some perf board or whatever.
What a tremendous value for $24, and you're off and running. That's just really good. So let's see here. This is the instruction sheets for it. So again, another. This is a 3-page manual, I guess, but shows you where all the hookups are, and you're off and running. So that's great, Gary. What else do you have?
Well, you're mentioning kits. We do have one kit. I came out with this number of years ago. I was giving a lot of classes on PSK 31 when that came out, and there's commercial ones, but the software for a lot of these programs is free. But maybe somebody wants to give it a try. I don't know if they like it or not. They don't want to spend a whole lot of money for an interface. And I was looking around, and nobody really had an interface kit that I thought was a good value. So I came out with the SCI 6, and this is what it looks like assembled. It comes with the cables to go into your PC. It comes with a bag of parts and the circuit board. You can see I have transformers. It's, again, my isolation philosophy. I have isolated both the receive and transmit audio. I have a optically isolated push-to-talk. It takes about an hour to build. But the kind of the kicker is that you have to build the cable to your radio. But if you don't mind soldering a little bit, you can save a lot of money by using this thing. And I know clubs have made bulk purchases of these, and it's a good project. So the new people that are into ham radio and want to get on a different mode, they'll have a meeting and they'll buy a bunch of these, and they'll assemble it with the guidance of the more experienced members, make sure they don't make mistakes, and can test it out and get on a different mode for pretty inexpensively. It's like $24.95 list price. And I always thought every ham should build at least one piece of equipment in their shack.
There you go. Gary, let's there's a couple of questions in here, and I want to make sure that we get those in. Let's see. Joe K0NEB says his sound card interface kit is great and easy to build. I have built it and written about it. So
thanks, Joe.
Yeah, Joe's real handy. And our friend Alpha Echo 5 Hotel Whiskeys love these showcases with the vendors, particularly as many of them are small businesses. And I learn a lot about their products as well as discovering new things I need for the shack. And so thank you so much for that. And I guess there was a question about prices, and Melanie put the DX Engineering link in the chat. And for Mark Brown and for BCD, one of our DX Club guys just wrote a newsletter article about his install and the use of the BEV Flex. He's overjoyed with the performance. So, so there you go. Got some great feedback.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, so continue on. What else do you have, Gary?
Well, if you're going to build a traditional beverage, we have the BT75, and this is just basically the transformer for a traditional beverage, not the beverage and ground. It's the impedances for elevated ones. Again, it's the NEMA case and the gas discharge tube across the transformer, stainless steel hardware and conformal coating. And at the other end, we'll have a series of terminators. This one is for 470 ohms for the beverage. We also make a 270 for bogs and a 1001 for loop like flag type antennas. So those are the products that you're carrying for us, and we really appreciate doing business with you, Tim. You're muted, Tim.
Your products stand up, and really, we don't have customers complain about the quality. It just really first class stuff. And I do want to show the let me know when you see the screen, Gary.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the BT75 that Gary just showed. Nice size. Has the F connector all set to go. Matches to 75 ohm cable. And again, when you go down to select it, let's see here. Select the BT75, and you scroll down and you can read about the documentation. Let's see here. We've got 3 5-star reviews and 1 4-star, and documentation tab here, and of course here's the user instructions, and you're all set to go. Simple, straightforward, and lots of great documentation. So really a super job, Gary, with the products. And I want to thank you. Any other final comments before we turn you loose?
No, not really. I appreciate being on here, and hello to everybody, and thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, and like I say, if you need more information about the United Microsystems, Unified.
Everybody makes that mistake.
Unified Microsystems products, you can get a hold of Gary or get a hold of us here at DX Engineering. and we'll take good care of you. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed this today, maybe learned something, and I'll be back on tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern time. That's 20 Zulu now. The Zulu time has changed. 20 Zulu with the weekend special. Until then, 73 from DX Engineering and Unified Microsystems.
73.